destroy America as you destroy its morality and its Christian foundations. Right. So let's talk about that. What have we seen since we've removed from the school the Bible, we've removed prayer from the schools, and we have the ACLU filing suits against anybody, anywhere, whether they're in church or not, that tries to mix politics with Christianity. Yeah. And by the way, if Christ lives in you, then he controls every area of your life, your business life, your family life, your school life. He controls government. I mean, we're Christians. We're going to bring our point of view to bear, which is the Bible, and that's what our country was founded upon. So tell us what you've seen in our country since the demise of the destruction, the planned destruction of our Christian foundations, and how that affects a country going forward.
Yeah, before I answer that question, one comment on what you said a few minutes ago about the whole safety illusion of safety. We often quote Ben Franklin on this. It's from a letter we believe that he wrote from the legislature to the provincial governor, the colonial governor back in 1755. But he's the one that said, you give up, if you're willing to give up your safety for liberty, you're going to lose both. And that's what we've seen happen. And it was, of course, a delusion, the whole thing, to think that government could save you from a virus or stop a virus from spreading, or that government could somehow do a better job than your family could do in their decisions and your local doctor. I mean, the whole thing was a delusion and a complete disaster. But it's exactly what they wanted. They wanted to get between you and your family and others. They wanted to isolate you. It was a horrible situation. But I don't think it happens in 2020. The whole thing does not happen if it hadn't been for the last 60 years of removing religion, removing God from the equation, because it made the American people more reliant on government instead of on their local church and their local faith. And the founders knew that. I mean, they knew that for a constitutional republic to survive, for it to work well. Benjamin Rush even talked about this. He was a signer of the Declaration and really a Renaissance man. I mean, he was a medical doctor. You probably one of your heroes, Dr. Hotze, I bet.
Benjamin Rush, sure.
Yeah, I mean, phenomenal guy. And he gives this great speech on the fact that a constitutional republic will not work if you're not teaching the Bible to every generation, because it's from the Bible that you get the principles that actually allow a republic to work. And, of course, we know without religion and morality, you can't have liberty. Without morality, liberty dies. You don't get morality if you don't have religion. So, I mean, you can literally draw a direct line through all of these things, and it's why the battle over separation of church and state and the battle over whether or not people of faith can influence the culture is the real battle. I mean, everything else stems from that, and we lost that battle years ago. We allowed the Supreme Court to redefine what separation of church and state actually meant. We allowed them to lie about what Jefferson said in that letter to the Danbury Baptists in 1801. We ignored the fact that the day after he wrote the letter, he went to church at the Capitol on federal property. And so we lift these 8 words, wall of separation of church and state. And Hugo Black was a KKK member, and he's the Supreme Court justice that did this in 1947 and completely flipped it on its head, changed the meaning of it. And now we've bought this lie that somehow if I'm a good Christian, if I'm a good, holy person, I stay out of politics. I don't get involved, and that's dirty over there. When in fact, Charles Finney was right. The church must take right ground in regard to politics, he said, because politics is part of a religion in a country such as this. And Christians must do their duty to their country as a part of their duty to God. God will bless or curse this nation according to the course Christians take in politics. That's what Finney said more than 100 years ago. And it's what you just said in terms of, if you're a person of faith, if you're a Christian, the Bible applies to everything. We don't box off and say, well, I can't use the Bible at work tomorrow because separation of work and church. Can't use the Bible, with my family life because separation of home. We don't do that. Why would we allow ourselves to do that on Tuesday when it comes time to vote, or when it comes time to go testify at school board or city council or legislative meetings? The Bible should influence everything in our life if we're a person of faith. If we're a Christian, then that is our guidebook to everything, and therefore it should influence how we treat our neighbors, what our legal system looks like, what our laws look like. As Finney said, politics is just part of our religion, and as you said, we take our faith and our philosophy based on our faith into the public arena, and it should influence everything in the public arena. And if Christians are doing that, salt and light, it preserves the culture, it brings out the best flavor, it dispels the darkness, it's good for everyone, including the non-Christian. When Christians don't do that, when we recede, the darkness prevails.